Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. A nice weekend in racing just gone by. It may not have been vintage, but we saw many Group 1 performers. Buccaneero Fuerte, Inspiral, Ace Impact as we record on Tuesday. Just a couple of the horses we're going to mention. I'm sure we've got plenty more eye catchers as well. As we look ahead to a better weekend over in the UK, the Great St. Wilfrid Handicap highlights Ripon and plenty of group performers as well over in Newbury. Gentlemen, I think I've done the best I can there to pick up this weekend because I'm excited for it. There's some nice horses out there. I think a couple of cliff horses of Harry's to mention for sure. Harry is definitely one, but how are you this weekend? This week in general?
Yeah, not too bad. Do you know, I came into last weekend and I didn't really know what to expect with the Sugar Cup because everyone was saying it's going to be a boring weekend, but I actually really enjoyed it. I was slating off the rest of the world team, which are hands off. Okay, I didn't expect them to go as far as they did, but I did say the ladies would have a good weekend, and they did. Holly and Safi were just outrageously good, and seeing them fight out the finish on Scampy and I can't think of the other name, Watson's son, I think it was. Right. I think those two are just incredible jockeys, and it was actually a really good weekend. And as you mentioned, Ash, this weekend is the return of the one and only Sacred. But I can't do it to myself.
We'll get on to that in due time. Yeah, Lee, I sat down on Saturday. I didn't have too much to do. I sat down watching the Sugar Cup, watching all the racing, and like Harry, I had an enjoyable time. It was some good racing, and it was even better when the rest of the world were firing in winners after what Harry said on the show in the morning. So it's a great afternoon from where I was sat.
Yeah, he says that the rest of the world won't have a winner. First race, or the one, two.
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, oh my God, I'm in for it here. I am well and truly in for it. The first person that messaged me was Lee.
Well, look, you've got
I think it was a close. I think it must have been a dead eat between me and Lee, or it must have been photo finish because I was in there close enough now.
It was Tomo photo.
No, it was actually a good race, and like I enjoyed that Sugar Cup. I know people give out about these stuff. That's one of the ones I do like. Racing league, whatever. You can say whatever you like. You just gotta enjoy it for what it is, I suppose. And yeah, it was a good weekend for the girls, and especially which kind of leads on to Inspiral. She took the pre-Jack Lamawa. Did I say that right?
You butchered that. You butchered that.
Pre-Jack Lamawa. Yeah, she took that race. Beat Big Rock. Third was Light Infantry. So that Queen Anne form did hold up as well. But after the last day, it was you have to take a leap of faith to then back her after a bad run against Paddington. Obviously, the ground went against her, but she come to challenge. And I thought that was a chance. She had every chance. Obviously, the ground was very bad, but she didn't go off a big price at the weekend. The vibes were strong, and yeah, I thought it was a good performance to come back. I think it was 13 days on, was it?
Yeah.
To come back,
she's a very durable filly when she wants to be. She's had I suppose like she kind of underperformed a little bit behind Paddington, but she still sort of came to Paddington a little bit and asked, and then sort of like she had a run there, and then 13 days later she's gone and done that. It's fairly impressive.
What I would say as well, Frankie kind of obviously you bang on there. She came with a chance, and Paddington from the front there was just no beat him, and he's a class act anyway. But I think the fact that she did come with that run, and the fact that she's now gone on to better ground, I think the Goslings would have been a little bit. I think they'd have been satisfied with what they saw at Goodwood, albeit she was beaten. And Frankie looked after her, didn't he? Really, as soon as
it's hard to then look for these having in and out days. And I thought it was a massive performance to bounce back. To be fair, look, she was a long way beat there in the Sussex.
Yeah, I thought it was a massive run. Like I didn't really have too much of an interest in the race, but I watched it and you could see it throughout. You know, like the horse that tried to go to the front and hit the front, and then there's just Inspiral and Frankie sat
Yeah.
motionless in behind, and then like she's won the race last year. She goes and does it again. Frankie 4 in a row with Palace Pier. I thought that was absolutely mega. I thought another Group One lads that was surely on my agenda. I thought Bucanero Fuerte was very very good over in
Yeah,
Ireland.
very good.
And look, you listen to all the talk like is it Robson Aguiar, who does sort of like the background stuff for Amo Racing. He know a good horse now, and he said this is the best one I've ever sat on. And you look at that form, you look at that run with Unquestionable from the last day, where Unquestionable came past, and then Bucanero Fuerte went again. I thought he was really, really good. And I think we could be really, really excited for the 3-year-olds next year. Harry, we say this every year probably about looking forward to the 3-year-olds. And I think this year's disappointed. But I think the City of Troy, with River Tiber, with Bucanero Fuerte, with plenty of 2-year-olds, we've got some to look forward to next year into the classic season.
Oh, 100%. And just to touch on that as well, Bucanero Fuerte and Give Me the Beat Boys and Unquestionable, they were all over on that far side. I would give a little shout out to Porta Fortuna because she raced on her own down this near side, and it's never going to be favourable, is it? Especially when the winner is so good and on that preferably far side. But I thought Sheen Murphy gave that a pretty good ride, and this one was beaten by a proper top class horse, I thought. And you touched on the 2-year-olds there, Ash. I mean, we had a really good 2-year-old winner in Capulet today at Dundalk. There's been a few 2-year-olds that have come out there and been very, very smart. And I think, we have definitely got something to look forward to with the 3-year-olds. French horse today, we've seen a potential star in Ace Impact. I think you can upgrade that run to do what he did, 80% fit. I know, Lee, you disagree with me, but I thought that was a proper performance. Al Reef had a good blowout the last time at the Curragh, so he was coming in there race fit, and there was no excuses for him. And the turn of foot that Ace Impact showed, he was special, and I think it would take a good one to stop him in the arc, I should say.
There's been some very good horses. That one you mentioned today, which as we record on the Tuesday, the winner at Dundalk, that's by Justify. Now, I just want to touch small bit on Justify.
How good's he been? How good?
He's been great as a sire. He's been really, really good. And it's been this year he's hit the ground running. Like Bertinelli, who has actually gone off to Hong Kong, which is a bit sad. But Bertinelli was one where Aidan O'Brien said after London Gold Cup, like he's a horse to be really, really excited for next year. He's always growing. He's always improving, a lot like his dad, he said. And sort of you see it with these Justifies, City of Troy, who's the is it the full or it must be the full now to Bertinelli, and that one there at Dundalk, they're just improving plenty and they're going really, really nicely. I think Justify as a sire I'm really going to be looking forward to and looking forward to next year and seeing any horse that are coming out first time out for sure. I want to touch on another 2-year-old, gents. I don't know if you saw it. You probably did. It was a Newmarket on Saturday. I thought Fallen Angel was very good in the Group 3 Sweet Solera Stakes. She sort of made all alongside Carolina Reaper and Soprano. And I thought she showed a really, really good turn of foot at the 2-pole under Danny Tudhope, went away and then just kept doing her best work in that final furlong. I think she's a really, really interesting horse for something like the Fillies Mile later this season. She's 6-1. That might be skinny enough when you've got the likes of, is that Yang or the Yang? Ylang, yeah, that's the one. That one's in at Freeze 4-1 kind of thing, top of the market. There's some really nice 2-year-old fillies in there, but I think she's an interesting one, stepping up to a mile for the Fillies Mile. She does. I think she could be a very, very interesting one. Harry, was there anything else, or Lee, anything else on the weekend that you caught your eye on?
I'll touch on one that came actually in at the Sugar Cup. I thought Empire State of Mind ran an absolute blinder in the Sugar Cup mile for John Quinn and that man Frankie. Sent off the 5-2 favourite, was absolutely smashed up in the betting, as if this horse could not get beat. And Frankie actually came around the outside at one point and then switched back in the inner. And by then, Perotto, who we know is still well handicapped off a mark of 98. And I think is it the visor that he's got on now? That's just done the trick for him, hasn't it, really? Foxtel as well. So the second and third, I'd definitely keep an eye on, because Foxtel, how that horse got beat. Oh, what did I say about Joao Moreira? Top class jockey, undoubtedly. But did I or did not say on the Saturday Live?
But
I
look,
think you're just slating everything, weren't you, on Saturday? You're taking no
Yeah.
prisoners.
It's pretty rare that I take prisoners, but Empire State of Mind and Foxtel's head carriage would put me off big time. You look at Perotto and you look at Empire State of Mind, they run down to the ground and they are going for it. But Foxtel's just kind of like, if he put his head down, he would.
Is that a
he'd
deal
have
breaker?
10
Because
pounds.
like Paddington's like one that just like has his head right up in the air, and he's an absolute brilliant horse.
But then I think when you've got the talent of Paddington and the talent, no, undoubtedly Foxtel is a very talented horse. You won't be rated in the hundreds for no reason. But imagine what he would be if he I'm not saying he doesn't run genuinely, but if he did run with his head down and tried all the way to the line. But it was a soft ride, especially at the finish.
Lee, anything else before we move on to this
nothing
weekend's
else from
racing?
that. Just
Fantastic
inspiring.
news. Lovely. I think we've covered that very well, gentlemen. Definitely some horses to keep on the radar going forwards, and especially for those big races that are coming up now. This weekend, as mentioned at the start, it's the weekend preview, and it's better racing over in the UK. We've got nice racing at Newbury. We've got the Great St. Wilfrid Handicap over at Ripon. But we'll go and start at Newbury, the Group 3 Geoffrey Stakes. It's the first race at Newbury, the 150, 1 mile, 5 furlongs and a half. Kamari topping the market 9-4 for Charlie Appleby, William Björk, who said Charlie Appleby's in a bit of rough form this season in general. Arrest the 3-year-old John and Fady Gosden 4-1, yet to be jocked up as we record. Klondike in there for William Haggis, Tom Marcon, 4th run of his life in there at 4s. Shandoz for Roger Very and David Egan, same price as well. Bigger about the rest. Lee, I'll come over to you. What do you like in the Geoffrey Freer?
I'm going to give Arrest another chance. I just think conditions have went against them the last couple of times. He actually won. I think it was the Chester Vars where he beat Adelaide River easily enough. That horse has ran second to August Rodin in the Irish Derby. I think he beat him 6.5 lengths that day. That was on soft. Has won on good to soft. Has been second on heavy. So I think conditions, when they've been rattling quick, good to firm the last 2 runs. One in the Derby where it didn't show up, didn't perform anyway. Was a bit of a messy race, I would have said, behind the 2 front ones there. But then to run behind King of Steel at Ascot, again, rattling quick ground, good to firm. And I just think it's went against the horse. So I'm a forgiving man. I've went with Arrest again. I do think probably the danger is Klondike, 4th in the Bahrain Trophy, only beaten over a few lengths behind Castleway and Tower of London. I thought that was a solid race. And I thought Klondike on, like you say, this is going to be his 4th run. I think I'll take that one as the danger, only because there's got Kamari, won a listed race last time out, but bar its first season, it hasn't lived up to the better grades, I would have said. So listed last time out, but this step up to a Group 3 might just be the telling of Kamari. Never really sees it out in these better class races. And Shandos, 656 days off. That would put me off. So yeah, down to Arrest, I think, for me.
It's an interesting race. Like you can make a case. I think you can make quite a solid case for a lot in here. Arrest, the 3-year-old getting the allowances. Klondike, that form tying in with Tower of London. If he's meant to be a nice horse for Aidan O'Brien, then that form looks nice. And you mentioned Shandos there, 656 days. I'm actually taking a chance on Shandos. I hope that he's been trained for this race and this race only, because he doesn't have any sort of like bigger entries kind of thing. Like it's not like he has a Group 2 or another race they've sort of got lined up in couple days time. And I'm hoping that he returns back, because if he returns back to anywhere near that Kempton listed race where the Floodlit Stakes last time out, which I say last time out was November 2021.
Nearly 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, last time out, just the other day, he beat Desert Fire, who's like a fair, 100 horse Acai Bin Surur. Beat Dubai Future, who's like a 113 horse. Alunak was back in 5th. Outbox was back in 6th, who just finished 2nd to Kamari the last day. Hamish was back in 7th, who's a 117 horse now. So I think that form is really, really strong, and I think he is he's still improving, even though he's a 6-year-old. He's obviously had that injury issue or whatever's kept him off the track for that long. If he's back and he's back to his best or anywhere near to his best, I think Shandos is the play at 4s. And David Egan's dropped up, so it seems like they're going to the race. Harry, you don't agree with me, though, and you agree with Lee on this one, don't you?
Yeah, I've always loved Arrest ever since his Sandown win. I thought he was just a potential superstar in the making. And he obliged. Well, no, he actually didn't oblige because he got beat by Dubai Mile, didn't he, in the Group 1 at St. Cloud. But then you fast forward to this year, as Lee, you've mentioned, he was 6.5 lengths in front of Adelaide River in an absolute romp. So he went to Epsom. I think excuses can be made. It just, the ground, he knows he doesn't want that ground. He got away with it in his early days, but now he's getting a bigger and an older horse. It's quite clear that he needs easy underfoot conditions as such to be at his prime. And I think given
Sorry, which horse are you about this? Sorry, I might have zoned out there a second. What horse are you about for this softer ground?
I think Arrest it definitely needs softer ground.
Do you think it'll be soft ground on the weekend?
I don't think they'd run it. I don't think they'd run it.
It's good, it's soft, and it's got plenty of showers about. So I think it'll be enough. He just doesn't want the good to firm. The past twice it's been good to firm. I think the combination as well. It's a 57-day break from its last run as well. So I think the break and that bit juice in the ground would make the difference for me.
He beat a horse called New Day Rel in his maiden stakes at Sandown by 4 lengths. That was on good to firm ground. If he would have ran on good to soft ground, who's rated 79, I should say, that horse that was in third, he would have beat that horse by 14 lengths easily. Could have been 40 lengths.
I think we should make a series of Harry Beard maths. I think it would go down horrendously awful.
You know what we should do?
I'm just saying he's a much better horse with these underfoot conditions. He just is. I think we need a thread, Harry. I think we need a thread of you. You know, like Jerry Hannon's commentaries.
Jumped like a bag of hammers.
Yeah, we'll just do all your things. It should have been 40 length, and yeah, we'll get one of them going. Yeah,
whatever. Then someone somewhere out there would have a field day with it. But giving £6 to Arrest, I think Kamari's not been at his best. Lee already mentioned that, beating out box by half a length. It's all right. It's good form, but it's not brilliant. And I think Arrest is a Group 1 horse and a Group 3.
I'd like to hold my hands up and say that I actually backed Arrest for the Arc after his Chester win. The absolute shrewd play that was from me. I think it was 20-1 for the Arc. So that was absolute, shrewd from me there.
What price is it now?
He's 80-1, but Ash,
is he in the market?
He's 80-1, 80-1. But then if that came up soft ground,
You'd have a chance, but like,
do you know what?
You'd have a chance in the same way that I'd have a chance if I started now. You'd
have a chance the same way as Zarek the Brave would have a chance.
Right, I've got a wild thing, and you can probably clip this or you can do what you want. But I had a thought today, whilst watching Ace Impact for the Arc. Can you imagine if Kyprios went to the Arc on soft, heavy ground? Bowl him out from the front, catch me if you can.
Will he be back? Will he be back for the Arc?
They're aiming for the Irish St. Ledger, I think, so they might.
Could you imagine?
An idea.
Like, that's not a stupid idea, is it? That's not a stupid idea.
1 mile 4, Kyprios.
I think stupid idea.
No, if you just let that horse bowl along,
a Gold Cup winner.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's another one to put in this thread. That's in
the
It's been done a lot of times. These Gold Cup runners and these ones that stay further. Even I can't think off the top of my head, but in the past they've tried it and they've had to then stay on for like 5th and 6th. It just doesn't work. You've just got to have these ones that are top class at this distance, in my opinion.
I think it's not the worst shout in the world, anyway.
I just think we all know it's dangerous when Harry starts thinking things. That's the main thing to take away from this.
Agreed.
Moving him on before he suggests, I don't know, Zarek the Brave for the Arc. The Hungerford Stakes is the next race we'll cover. The Group 2, 3:35, and Sacred, as we mentioned at the start of the video, is back. 7 furlongs, 7-4, topping the market. William Haggis, Tom Marquand chinned it under new ownership, going to be a sire over in India after he finishes his racing career. Richard Hannon, Pat Dobbs, 9-2. Jumbie, Eve Johnson Horton, 7-1. Willie Turnup, no jockey, bit of a drift, not sure. Alsa Hale 10s, Olivia Morale the same price, bigger about the rest. Harry, can you stick to the horses that are in this field? Please don't mention, I don't know, Stradivarius for this race. If you could try and avoid that, what do you fancy for the Hungerford?
Well, listen, the love affair I have with Sacred, it's there and there. It's like as if I've taken a girl back to mine and we've been in a relationship for 6 months, all's happy and Larry at the start of it, and then she cheats on me. Sacred cheated on me at Newbury last year, where she won by 6 lengths, and now ever since then, I haven't been able to look at her, and I still haven't forgiven her. I can't forgive that horse, and I just can't do it to myself again. She's a course and distance winner. She's 2 from 2 at Newbury. She's brilliant there.
That's an analogy I never thought was coming out. That is absolute gold dust.
But she needs quick ground. She has to have quick ground. And if anything came up tacky, I think 7-4 is short. Yes, she has beaten a few of these. Alsa Hale for one. Funnily enough, he's the one that I'm siding with, Alsa Hale, because I think him and Sacred tie in quite closely together. And I think the worsening ground wouldn't be detrimental to Alsa Hale one bit. He was a close 2 lengths behind Kim Ross at Doncaster, and that was on soft ground. But we all know when Doncaster say it's soft ground and when Haydock say it's soft ground, it isn't soft ground, it's a bog. And I think Alsa Hale can cope with that. He's rated 116. He has to give weight away, albeit. But I think he 10-1. I was looking at his entries earlier on, Ash, and would you go for this or the City of York Stakes? Because a few of these are in the City of York Stakes the following week.
I think if your connections are sacred, I think you go to this without thinking twice, really. This is a much easier race. It's a winnable race. Everything should suit, and I'm with Sacred here. Unfortunately for Harry, it's quite incredible how I didn't like this horse at all last season, and then this season I've just really cottoned on to her. I think she's just grown up a bit, matured, but I think she's very good. You can kind of. I kind of dispute Harry's point on needs really quick ground. She's performed well at Royal Ascot twice on good to firm ground, but she was, I think she was second in a Group 2 start of her career, second to Miss Amulet on good to soft ground. That was a good performance there. She runs well on good ground, but she's blown out most of her times on good to firm ground. I think, if it turns up anywhere good ground, she just needs good ground. Doesn't want it rattling. I don't think it will be rattling. She'll be fine on anything. And look, I thought that win 2 starts ago on the All Weather when beating Queen Aminatu was very, very good. She has showed an absolute turn of foot, round the bend, bang, see you later. I thought she ran a really good race over 6 furlongs at Royal Ascot in the race won by Cardem. She's been freshened up since. It's going to be about a 56-day break in between her last run and this weekend. She's a better horse when fresh. I can imagine this is a typical William Haggis targeting a race that he knows he can win and getting everything right for her. I think Sacred is the one here. It's unfortunate. It's going to be very difficult for some of these horses to give weight away to her as well. Like she's quite clearly the best in here, and she receives weight. So Sacred all the way for me.
This is one race I will not watch. I will refuse to watch this race, and I'll just let Twitter decide it for me, because I'll just be on there. And if I see Ash posting, and Lee, I don't know what your selection is, but if I just see, what a performance, Sacred, she's done it again. She's 3 from 3 at Newbury. I'll just deactivate my account.
I'll drop you a message, Harry. Don't worry. I said she's quite clearly the best. I think that's harsh. I think Chindit is quite a good horse. But I think she is just about the best in here. And I will definitely be with her. Lee, yourself, what do you fancy?
I'm just laughing at how Harry described it. So if he's describing it as a girl he doesn't want to speak to anymore, I think yours is more friends with benefits, and you're only ringing up when you're on top form. Like it's not one that you'd sit at the bottom of the cliff with. I think. But
what has this channel come to, man?
Well, it's a girl that I won't be ringing anyway because I'm with Chindit. I just think Chindit's got the best form. Actually won in this grade. The Group 2 Summer Mile. Second in a lock-in over the course as well. I thought that was a solid run. 6th in the Queen Anne. Inspiral was second that day. We've already mentioned Spiral winning the Group 1 Jack Lawawa at the weekend. Late Infantry was in that Queen Anne as well. That horse finished 3rd. In between was Big Rock, but third in that Group 1 as well. Light Infantry's been a solid horse this season. So 6 of them type of horses isn't too bad in the Queen Anne. Like I say, already won the grade. Actually beat Muta Sarbek. Muta Sarbek's won 2 Group 2s as well after that. So yeah, I just think Chinder's got the solid form, and 92 is probably not a bad each way play, to be fair. You're only losing coppers. I just want to be against Sacred at 6-4. That's the problem. I do think Alsa Hale's got a good chance. And I would even say New Endeavour is one that can go on to better stuff. Maybe this is a bridge too far at this stage, but I do think New Endeavour is one to watch closely going forward. But yeah, Chin did for me.
No, fair play. You have to respect Chinder. Would you have a question mark over 7 furlongs?
No, I actually preferred that, saying that, to be totally honest. I know it's been a miler, and I've been running in them, but it travels so strongly, and I'm quite excited to see over the 7 furlongs at Newbury, to be honest.
Thank you very much. No, I like the case for sure. We'll whiz over to Ripon over there for the big handicap that they've got over at Ripon. It's the Great St. Wilfrid handicap. Plenty of runners to have a look at here, gentlemen, and there's plenty of old boys that we have to either be with or be against. It's topping the market is Summer Gahand, 8-1. Lee's got a mixed record with this horse. Summer Gahand, add the H in there, why not? Monsieur Cody, 10-1. Richard Fireman won at Goodwood last time out. Ingrator, 12s. Lakota Blue, 12s. Bay Bridge, 14s. Harry, what do you fancy in the Great St. Wilfrid?
Summergand, you bang on there. You have to give a mention to. He still looks so well handicapped off a mark of 97. He ran well in this race last year. He off a £1 higher mark, I want to say. In second, actually, that day, a horse I backed, Good Earth, at 20-1. Now, Good Earth could actually be coming here again. He has got an entry, but he's higher in the ratings after a decent year. So the one I've landed on is Nigel Tinkler's Isla Kai. I think this horse has got a massive chance, especially off a mark of 89. This horse comes alive this time of the year. Ran really well in August 2021 at York in a valuable handicap behind Mr. Ascendancy. That was an RPR of 103. Now, albeit he hasn't really achieved those sorts of heights this season, he did record an RPR of 100 back at Ripon in April 2023. So that's the start of this year. And I think off a mark of 89, that's £1 lower than what he was back in April. And I just think he's just waited to go well. He just really is waited to go well. One horse I would be interested in if he did turn up is Equilateral. Seen a little bit of money, 20s into 16s now. You can get 14s in places. So there's been a bit of a dabble from the Charlie Hills team, who are in good form. And I think if he rocked up in a race like this, he'd be pretty hard to beat, wouldn't he?
He would be, yeah. He's a nice horse, but you just wonder on the handicap mark side of things if off a treatable mark for Equilateral, who is sort of like a listed group performer kind of thing. Lee, big handicap, lots of runners to decipher. What do you fancy?
I will give a shout to Summergand. I do think you probably would have to have a save on the old boy. £5 lower than his Air Gold Cup win when beating Comanche Falls. That horse has won a Group 3 and a listed race this season. Very well handicapped, like Harry says. Withdrawn from the Stewards Cup at Glorious Goodwood, but that was on very tacky ground, heavy ground. After that race, it was actually abandoned. It probably was a blessing in disguise, and I think can run well. Another one I'll give a shout to, Aphelius, easily won off 84. £2 lower than the last time out for Mick Appleby, and I think it can go well, Aphelius. But the one I'm down with is Ingrator. Runs in the Johan colours for Jack Shannon. Jack Shannon's on a 23% straight rate in the last 14 days, so the yard's going really well. Off a mark of 89. Was actually second in a London Series qualifier of 88, only beaten 3/4 of a length. And I just think it's going to improve. And it got taken out of a race actually recently. But like I say, I just think from the Jack Shannon yard that's going so well, it just might be well handicapped. And I don't want to say a bit of a plot, but this might be the path that was laid out for him. So yeah, Ingrid is the one for me.
No, I like that with Jack Shannon angle. I think he's a great trainer. I think he's made a good start to his sort of career in under the helm. I like one at a price here. Aramis Gray. I think it's very interesting coming into Handicap Company for Ray Guest. Has been running in sort of listed and like level weights races for a while. Started the season in a Class 2 at Southall. In a Fillies condition stakes and finished second there. So it was a good start to the season. Then when I finished second to Anaf in another condition stakes when in receipt of weight, £5, but that was when sort of Anaf was officially rated 101 and Anaf has gone to improve sort of, up to 108. And that was, a fair run that day, sort of made it to the front, looked like the winner, and then Anaf overtook. I think Amaris Gray will be sort of a bit unlucky that day, just running into one because looked like she was going to be the winner there. Then went and beat the Dream over at Lingfield. The Dream's obviously gone to improve plenty since now, has gone and done plenty this season, finishing winning that Group 3 over at Newmarket, I should say, and winning at Doncaster as well. So I think that's very good form as well. And then the second to Queen Aminati on the All Weather. Again, Queen Aminati is a very nice filly for William Haggis. You know how highly I regard her in my standings. And again, wrong at the weights massively. Officially £14 wrong at the weights between Queen Aminati and Aramis Gray. And she was a good second that day. And then was second to Get Ahead at Haydock when really stuffed away on the inside under Callum Shepherd, really stuffed away. Like, Richard King's got on the winner on Get Ahead, sort of had to weave through and got to the front and then went away. Clearly the best horse in the race, but Aramis Gray stayed on when finally finding some clear room to run into, but she took a while to get to that place, and she kicked on in the listed Cecil Frail Stakes at Haydock. I think she's really, really interesting dropping into Handicap Company of 95. If she does go to the race, you don't know if she will, but I can only hope that Connections by entering her will decide to give her a go, and I think she could be quite interesting. Another one without with a bingo card saying interesting too many times. Anthem National for Philip Kirby. Well, Anthem National is a very intriguing horse. Changed that there from the word interesting. Was second to Comanche Falls last time out in a listed race over at the Curragh. That was at the start of July. Comanche Falls obviously gone to do wonders this season. It was officially rated 96 at the time when with Joseph O'Brien. And then Philip Kirby's come in and paid 210,000 guineas for this horse to come over to him. Hadn't really been doing much before that run behind Comanche Falls. I'd been running all right, but sort of like, running at like all right at like a high 90s level kind of thing. And then got bumped all the way up to 105, and Phil Kirby's gone and splashed the cash to get this horse. Don't really know why, but I think that the reason they paid so much and that form of Comanche Falls could just be the best horse in this race. And sometimes it's as simple as going with the best horse in the handicap, even if they are top of the handicap, and seeing how we go from there. So I'll give you the two there, really. It's the Aramis Gray. I think she's got a great chance, and that Anthem National. Very interesting runner at 16 to 1 for
Ash,
Philip Kirby.
that horse has got a entry for the Air Gold Cup in September. Just looking at the horse's entries now, 93,000 to the winner of that race. I don't know how much you get for this race in particular, but if they've got an eye on that, which I'm guessing they will have, that could be an interesting prize, 20 to 1, if the horse goes. Because I agree, it's intriguing, isn't it? Buying a horse for so much.
Anthem National, you say?
Yeah.
Anthem National. I don't know why I'm saying National, like Marine National. It's Anthem National.
Don't talk about that horse when I've got we don't talk about that horse when I've got this boy on my chest. So.
I will also mention that Aramis Gray is entered, I believe, for the weekend as well in a listed race. I think the Connections. You don't know what the Connection's going to do.
I guarantee it. Is it on the All Weather by any chance?
No, it's at Ponty. So
that's a surprise.
On the grass. So look, maybe not the biggest anti-post play in the world, but maybe just watch and see kind of on the Thursday and see how things go. Gentlemen, I'll go over to anything else or naps. I think Lee, you have a couple anywhere else, so we'll fire over to you first of all.
I do think in Newbury, the 3 o'clock, I really do like Indemnify. I've backed this horse a few times. 1 off 87 for Roger Varian, went at Alice Haynes. Not had the rub of the green the first time. Bit disappointing last time out, but I still think it's on a good mark of 91. So it could go well. Indemnify in the 3 o'clock in Newbury. The 210 at Ripon. There's 2 horses that both us like. Bahia is down to run against Array. They both ran at Goodwood. Bahia was the eye catcher. Travelled well enough, but was behind Big Evs, who won the listed Windsor Castle Stakes at Ascot, and Killian flew home to get 3rd. That one's favourite for the race at York next week. So I would take Bahia over Array, but if either one of them go, it'll be interesting, and they'll probably be short, to be fair. Also, I like Snelling in the 4 o'clock at the Curragh. I think still will have the beating of Pearls and Rubies. Beat Pearls and Rubies in the Chesham. That Chesham's worked out really well. Odyssey was in there. Hot Fuzz. We've mentioned these horses before. They've all franked the form, to be honest, and I really do like that Chesham form. So Snelling and the 4 o'clock. And the race before, Alabama, probably going to be short, but I do think we'll take that race at the Curragh. And just a race that, if you like these interesting races, the 205 at Newmarket is the first race, and it's the Grey Horse Handicap. So they run this every year, and it's for all grey horses, which, it's an interesting sight, I suppose. So want to watch the 205. But indemnifying the 3 o'clock, the Ripon race, Bahia to beat Array, and Snelling in the 4 o'clock at the Curragh.
Are they bringing Alpha off out of retirement to have a go in that grey handicap race?
Well, I was thinking before when you mentioned Aramis Grey or whatever, I thought, is that going to run now? No, it's an interesting race. Have you seen it? It's always run at Newmarket every year, and it's just it's an interesting watch. Anyway, watching all the greys out town.
Gotta love a grey. I'm sure that's a horse name, isn't it? I think that's.
Didn't it win it? It was quite smart last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I forget what happened last week.
It was in the middle. It was in the Midland Park colours.
Yeah, you are right. No, you are right. Yeah, you are right. Harry, anything else or a nap?
I will go anything else, and you might slaughter me for this, but I'm going over to Market Raisin for the 5:30 on Saturday. And Liverpool Night is back out for Ollie Murphy, who has had an incredible summer. And this horse it's just been a revelation, really. 2 wins at Uttoxeter. The most recent one was winning by 14 lengths, albeit it was on good to soft ground. But Uttoxeter is a bit different to others. When they say it's good to soft ground, it's usually pretty nice ground. So I think most of the country is going to be getting showers this week. So any rain wouldn't be detrimental to his chances. And I think a 5-year-old on the up, he might be a short price, but I'm excited to see him back out. And my nap, you've put me on the spot there. Do you know what? I really think Arrest will win. I think giving £6 to that horse is going to be tough, and especially if the heavens open, there is no way that horse will be 4-1. No way on God's green earth.
Harry Beard bookmaking's back out in full force. I don't have anything else, and I don't have anything interesting. I just think Sacred might just win. So
why say that? Why say her name? You've said her name too many times, and I've got to go in bed and see her.
I just think Sacred wins, to be honest, and she's I think just a great not a great price, but just like she's fairly priced at 7-4. Lovely stuff, gentlemen. Before we finish, Lee. Oh, go on. Yeah, go on.
Right now, I'll do Ingrid in the Great St. Wilfrid at Ripon.
Splendid stuff. Lee, I'll stick with you. We have a competition running, as you can see by the badges in the background on the top there. I'll go grab that to get a closer look, but we've got a competition running.
Yes, there's the pins. There's me Constitution Hill one. Harry's got what you got on Facile Vega, and you've got,
being the CEO of the Facile Aurora Vega. There'll be so many Vegas coming out soon, but I am the fan club CEO, so it's only fair that I represent my team.
Were you even born when Quavega started her run at the Cheltenham?
I'm not too sure.
Look,
what was the trainer of Quavega, Harry? Go on.
Willie Mullins was Ashton.
Willie. Look, it's from Horse Racing Pins. We've got a pin to our profile. It only fuels of horses, and they are They provide great gifts. Go and check out their website. Everything is on there. All the details for the competition. You've got to retweet, tag a friend, share, stuff like that. But yeah, all pinned to our profile at the Only Fools of Horses page. And it's a competition to win a gift set. There's 15 of these in a nice gift set. So go and check that out. Yeah, really good gift.
Yeah, definitely go and check that out. It's all free. So that's the main thing, really. It's all free. Student like me absolutely loves that.
Student comes in soon, though.
I know, it's absolutely fantastic news. Lovely stuff, gentlemen. That's all we've got time for on the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. Did enjoy? Please do like and subscribe. Go and smash that like button. 50 likes. Go and do it, please. It helps my day immensely. Immensely improves my mood. When I get on the train in the mornings on the way to London, I see we've got some likes. I do a little dance on the train. So please let me dance on the train.
And me too as well. When I wake up next to Sacred, it's just kind of like I see 50 likes and I'm like, yes, I don't have to talk to her. I just do not have to talk to her today.
Very good, Harry. Very good.
Otherwise, just please do it for my sanity.
Please. And yeah, we'll be back 10:30 a.m. on Saturday to talk about the weekend's racing of all our finalised fancies. All the races will be priced up, so hopefully have some nice nuggets to share with you all. 10:30 a.m. on Twitter. If you're having a bet this weekend, please do gamble responsibly, and we'll see you very, very soon.